So today we're going to be talking about The Disaster Artist. This stars James Franco, Dave Franco, and Seth Rogen. He's in it. Some other people are in it. Zac Efron's in it. And the plot goes as follows. James Franco does weird things for an hour and a half, and the audience laughs. And
There's a bit more than that, but...
That's the gist, really.
But he did dumb shit that was based off real life dumb shit.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's what makes it funny.
So the actual plot is, basically, if you guys don't know, this film is the making of The Room, which is touted as the best worst film ever made.
Yeah.
It's all about what happened behind the scenes and this friendship between Tommy Wiseau, the director, and his best friend, Greg Sestero, who also acted in the film, and just how their friendship came together and falls apart and comes back together again at the end. Yeah, also just the shenanigans that went behind the making of The Room, and it's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I give that a damn good seal of approval.
Ooh,
well,
already this far into the podcast.
Yeah,
you don't even need to listen to the rest of the podcast. There you go.
Because it ends there, doesn't it?
Yeah, just we'll end the podcast there.
So, James Franco plays Tommy Wiseau, and Dave Franco plays Greg Sestero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, the two Franco brothers
Yes.
in the movie together, and James Franco directed it.
Yeah.
And
It's based off the book that Greg Sestero wrote as well, called The Disaster Artist.
yeah, the movie won a Golden Globe recently for, I think,
Yes.
James Franco won Best Actor, which is pretty damn good because he deserves it, because when you watch him, you don't actually...
You can't tell
like,
if it's him or if it's Tommy Wiseau at times.
You don't see James Franco, you see him as Tommy Wiseau, and it's really like, wow. Until this one, I've never felt like, I'm seeing anything more than James Franco.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So guys, what were your thoughts on The Disaster Artist after you saw it?
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that stood out to me about this film is just it was, funny in the sense that it was making fun of, I guess Tommy Wiseau and all the behind the scenes madness that happened, the real life madness that happened in the making of the movie. But also it's got an emotional core between Tommy and Greg. You get to see their friendship, and that's what the movie is really about. It's a story of their friendship together, and that they both have a dream to make it in LA and make a film. Really, they achieve success, but not in the way that I think they imagined they would. That's one of the things about the film, is that it kind of makes you appreciate that these guys had a dream, and even though it didn't turn out how they wanted it to, they got there in the end.
You can kind of respect that as well. He wrote the script all by himself. This is Tommy Wiseau I'm talking about. And then he directed, produced, starred in his own film. And even though it's terrible, like objectively terrible, there is something really, really great about the fact that he even was able to make it, because making a movie at all is a massive achievement. Yeah,
but even then, Greg says to him, how many people can say the same thing, that they made a movie like from nothing?
Exactly.
It is an achievement, and you can respect it, definitely.
Saying
that, The Room is, it's still bad, but it's great that so many people have come together over it.
Yeah.
And had it's become this cult phenomenon.
I definitely think that without the cultural significance of The Room, though, it wouldn't have been as funny, because a lot of the times it relies on you having seen The Room or knowing the references to find it funny. But I don't think that's an issue, because if you've seen The Room, then you're gonna enjoy this. I
think with the film, actually, no, to go, you go.
I think even if you hadn't seen The Room, you'd still have a blast watching Disaster Artist.
Yeah, I agree.
Even if you didn't get all the references, you'd still have fun.
I reckon the reason for that is because you do have that core at the film, which is the friendship, and even if you don't know what went on with The Room and stuff, or any of the gags, and haven't seen it yourself, I think it's just a good introduction point maybe for people who are like, I don't know about watching The Room. I think it would make you want to watch The Room. That's the best thing I can say about it.
In me underwears.
Me underwears.
Me underwears.
I think what that does is it makes it really relatable, that, because everyone has...
Sorry, just Tommy Wiseau being relatable.
Oh, what is this?
He's not...
Okay, it's not him
he's
that's relatable.
he's not
it's
he's
the
not he's nowhere
dynamics.
near
Yes.
relatable. Like that's not the word
He's
you
an
could describe
alien.
him. Yeah, exactly. He's an alien.
And we love him.
He's a prophet.
From another time.
That is one way that I've never heard Tommy Wiseau described before.
He's
A
the
prophet.
he's the herald of our futures. I think what makes the film is so relatable is the fact that they do have a dream together as friends and they achieve it. I think anyone can relate to that. Yeah, I reckon if you haven't seen The Room, you're definitely not going to be lost. I don't think.
Yeah.
You'll still find it enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's good for people who haven't seen it.
And
Yeah.
I think we can agree that everyone will have a laugh at the scene when they're trying to film the sex scene.
Oh
Yes.
gosh.
Because,
Yes.
That was
James
that was a
Franco's,
really
No, James Franco's ass,
Yeah.
That's something.
I can't believe some of the things you have to stand back and you have to be like, oh my god, this actually happened.
You have to stand
Oh,
back
yeah.
and look at it.
'Cause
You
the
have-
thing is
well,
that-
yeah, definitely his
the-
ass, right? You can't
the-
help but look at it.
the scene is really cringe-worthy, like on its own. Like even if it wasn't real, even if it was just fake, but the
Fake.
fact
Yeah.
that it actually happened makes it so much worse.
Yeah.
But so much better.
So much
Like,
better.
And that scene in particular really made me wonder how much of this is true.
When-
like how much
yeah.
how much of this movie is based on Greg Sestero's book, and how much did they embellish?
Yeah, well, I guess not only does it make you want to see The Room, it also makes you want to read The Disaster
Oh, definitely.
Artist.
I really want to read that now, actually.
Yeah.
Whether it was true or not, I can assure you that scene did happen in The Room, and it must have been an awkward
yeah.
situation either
Yeah, it
way.
happened in the room.
How could it not be? Like, Jesus.
Imagine that actress putting on her resume a sex scene with Tommy Wiseau.
Oh,
Yeah.
even just the scene where he's refusing to give his cast and crew water
The water,
Oh,
on
yeah.
that really hot day.
Oh, that was infuriating.
And then she passes out.
passes out.
yeah, was it Lisa or the mum?
No, it was the
mum.
mum.
Right, okay. The one that has breast
And he's
cancer.
like, no,
Yeah.
she's just old. That's
Yeah.
why she passed out.
She's just old, yeah. Just,
I don't know why I
Let
have
her
to
take a
say
nap.
this line. I mean, the breast cancer doesn't come anywhere else.
I
It
think
never returns.
it's just
Never
interesting to see how like maybe these actresses and stuff, they're like, there's lines in here and we have to say them.
Yeah, but they're like, hey, a job's a job. Like, they're just trying to make a living.
And Tommy
That's
does
true.
have
You
a anonymous money supply.
Yeah. A
Oh,
bottomless
it was
pit.
really funny the way that they handled all those questions, like, where's the money from? Like, where are you from? How old are you? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they had gags about every single
For
one
Tommy,
of those
yeah.
questions, and yeah, it was really good.
I don't know about you guys, but I thought the direction of the film was I think it's really, like, I think the film's great as a story, but I think the way James Franco sort of maybe directed it, I think he's a great actor in the film, but how he directed it was I guess sort of bland.
Good point.
I don't know. That was just me, at least, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's just take a minute, to talk about James Franco's acting again. I think he's phenomenal as
He
Tommy.
nailed the laugh.
Yeah, as Tommy Wiseau. He nails every single aspect of, like, embodying the character.
Yeah.
Especially
Even
the
his
eye
manners
twitch
and,
and
the
yeah.
eye twitch.
Yeah, and just, he's got, I mean, the accent isn't, like,
It's not perfect.
perfect. Like, it's not a direct interpretation of him. Yeah, no, well, the important thing is that he gets the mannerisms right,
Yeah.
I guess. And that he
And he definitely does.
yeah, he does. Yeah, just how he just does the extraordinarily weird ass things. Like, you never guess for a second that it's not even the real Tommy Wiseau you're seeing on screen. It's sort of, I don't know, it's just really good because I've never seen James Franco act that way, like, ever in a film. You can tell that he's really giving his all into this character.
Yeah.
Or, like,
it definitely pays off.
in paying his respects to Tommy Wiseau in every way he can by, like, taking the piss out of him and just fully embodying him as a person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the funniest thing about, the whole thing is that Tommy Wiseau is a caricature, but he's a real life caricature,
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
a person who actually exists, and he did all these weird ass things, and I'm not sure why, or how he exists, but he does. He does exist.
How he
Or on
exists.
what plane.
Where does he come from? how old is he? You know, where does he get his money? You don't
Yeah.
you don't get those answers by the end of the film.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
And
But you kind of don't want them.
Yeah,
Because the mystery is half the fun of
exactly,
it, you know?
you need. I think they did it really well. That how they didn't answer any of those because
Yeah.
they left it open and they're just like,
To be honest,
it doesn't really matter. You know,
Yeah.
that's not the point.
I mean, not like they could find out anyway.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's what I was saying too.
That's
It's
true.
not like they
He's
actually know.
He's one of those people who's just full of mystery, and
Yeah.
you want to know more about him, but then at the same time
You,
you
don't because it'll ruin it. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah. What do you guys think of Dave Franco in the film?
Yeah, I had that on my list.
Whoa.
I did. To be honest, I mean, I thought he was okay, but there
Yeah.
were a lot of times when I felt like this is just Dave Franco.
Yeah, well, that's
Like he's not acting; it's just him being himself. I don't think I ever really saw him as Greg Sestero. I
Yeah.
feel like I saw him as Dave Franco
I feel
acting
like-
as Greg Sestero,
I feel
which
like-
was kind of it was okay because the focus wasn't on him.
That's true. I feel
And-
like he looks nothing like him anyway. Greg
He looks
Sestero.
a bit more like him with the beard.
Yeah, he does.
But-
with the beard.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah,
when
Yeah.
James was wearing the glasses, I kind of forgot that
Yeah,
was.
when he was wearing the
James
glasses,
Franco.
yeah.
yeah.
He was like indistinguishable.
Those shades.
The
honestly.
shades,
Those
They're like
shades.
monobrow shades. I don't know how to describe
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, Dave
Yeah.
Franco. I feel like compared to how James Franco is in this movie and how good he is as Tommy, he's sort of overshadowed.
Yeah,
And
he
he's
really is.
you know, Dave Franco is just like you said. He I don't feel like he's Greg Sestero.
Yeah.
Or is it Greg Sestero?
I don't know
Sestero?
if it's Sestero,
Is there a Sestero or Sestero?
Sestero.
Sesame, I don't know.
Sesame seed.
Sesame seed.
Testosterone.
Greg
Testosterone.
Testosterone. Yeah, and I feel like he just, I don't know, compared to James Franco, he wasn't as good.
I kept seeing Dave Franco as that guy from Bad Neighbors.
Dave Franco, I don't know, I've never really liked him in any other movie, even Now You See Me. I've always just felt he was sort of like,
Oh, I saw the second one like the other day. It was so boring.
Are you kidding me? No.
It was really
it's One
boring.
it's one of my guilty pleasure movies.
Guilty
there's only
pleasure.
one
I
good
love-
scene in that movie, and it's the card scene. when they
Listen,
go
that's
into
the
lab.
best scene. It doesn't mean the others are bad.
I may have left out the point where I only watched the last half of the movie.
Oh, okay.
So half
Missed
of it
the
was
best
bad.
bit.
That makes sense.
You need to watch the cards.
Oh my god.
From what I remember,
it's iconic.
there were like 2 Woody Harrelsons.
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah.
Harrelsons. And I was like, no,
There
I'm done
are.
with this movie.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it's
Daniel
cool you now
Radcliffe's
you
in it.
see me too. Oh my goodness!
Why?
Because there are
'cause there are
2
two of
Har-
them.
Two
Or maybe
of
because
them.
it's the sequel.
No.
Maybe.
no,
I
no,
reckon
no.
it's more because there's 2
There's
Woody
2 Woody
Harrelsons.
Right, that's...
Now you see me.
Two.
2.
It turned out to be pretty, like, heartfelt
Yeah.
at times, and more of a drama, which I really, I liked.
Well, it balances.
I liked
Yeah, it balances the tone of drama and comedy.
that. It does.
It
It
does,
does
and
that really
almost
well.
almost effortlessly. I think like it
Yeah.
it can be really really funny, but then still have a dramatic beat.
Yeah,
that
or
really-
like emotional weight to some
Yeah.
of the scenes. Like the scene where Greg shaves off his beard.
Yeah, that was
That-
really powerful.
That
yeah.
was really powerful, and I feel like you're right. It does balance the two really well in a way that the comedy doesn't undermine the drama, and the drama doesn't undermine the comedy.
Yeah.
They can have both of them.
I think it's really good when you can balance the two.
Yeah.
Tagore, what did you have anything to add to that?
Well, where it really worked, besides the part where Dave is contemplating whether to shave his beard for the role
Greg.
with Brian.
Okay. See, we never see him as Greg though. We just
Greg.
see him as Dave,
Dave
Franco.
Franco. So this is how bad it is, guys.
I'm saying, I'm
Calling
saying,
the character Dave.
I'm saying Dave because we don't know how to say Greg's last name.
I'm gonna say Sestero.
Okay.
Greg's scenario, whatever his name is, the part where he was deciding to take off his beard for Bryan
Take
Cranston.
off his beard.
Remove it forcefully.
Yeah, we're just.
Shave it.
Shave it.
Shave it is
Take off
surely
his
the most
beard.
accurate
It
way.
sounds
of-
like you're taking off a helmet
Yeah, I know
or
it
something.
does sound like
It makes
storing
like a
it
pop
in my
noise.
beard closet
Yeah.
for later.
Alright, let me try this again. Shaves off his beard for Bryan Cranston's TV show.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, well, here's the lumberjack.
Or The Room, yeah. Other than that, from what I can remember, the bit towards the end where Tommy and Greg are throwing the ball in the field, lashing him at questions with like, "Who are you? What is this?" Because like they just finished making this movie and now they're like enemies.
Greg's pissed because like he didn't get that role.
But then that makes you think, what would happen if Greg chose the neighbor? Was it Neighbours?
No, it was it was the Bryan Cranston House in the House in the Middle.
Middle of
Malcolm in the Middle. That's it. House in the Middle. What the
House
fuck?
in the Middle. That's just bad design, really. Yeah. Oh, you think what would Greg's life been if he chose Malcolm in the Middle over The Room?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if in real life that Bryan Cranston thing happened. But if it did...
I feel like it must have. It was too significant for them to have just added it in.
It seems like a pretty big plot point to have in your film, and I think maybe we'd have to look at it again, but I think it could be in the Disaster Artist, maybe the book.
Yeah, it might be in the book. No, it just seems so out of place though, but like if it happened, it happened,
Yeah.
Yeah, like, because obviously the entire cast of The Room have gained popularity and of course this fandom around it and the cult.
Yeah, but have they gotten any other roles?
I know.
That's the thing.
Do they need it?
That's true.
Yeah.
It's one of the most dramatic parts of the film, I guess.
Yeah.
And
one of
the
the
fact
most effective parts for me as well.
Yeah, and the fact that they're able to blend that with the hilariousness of Tommy doing that sex scene with Lisa's actress or whatever. The fact that they're able to blend it so well is just it's really good. And
it's damn good.
It's really damn good. Yeah, you don't see a lot of films being able to juggle it that well.
Yeah, because they could have easily made it a stupid comedy.
Exactly.
And like, we're just making fun of The Room and how stupid
could
it
have
is.
been like a Bad Neighbours style.
Another Seth Rogen comedy movie, I guess.
But the thing is, I think what makes The Disaster Artist different is that it has that level, like it has that element of drama, which really elevates it. And like, you can feel that James and Dave Franco, they have this reverence for Tommy Wiseau and Greg Sestero
and a passion for The Room,
and they have a passion for it. Like even if they have this passion because they think it's garbage, they still care about it, and they want to. You can tell that they want to, do it justice. They want to do the story and the people justice, and I think that makes a huge difference. Actually having respect for your source material, you know.
What sets this movie apart from the sequels and reboots and shit that come out today is that this feels like a movie with passion behind it, like you said. It feels like a movie that people actually wanted to make. Yeah. Like, really wanted to make. Yeah, which I think is really just... Yeah, you don't see too often, I guess, from the Hollywood committee sort of films that are all about pandering to the audience and everything.
It's funny you say that, like, because this movie was built with, like, the passion of all these people about making a movie about the passion of two filmmakers.
It's a passion project about a passion project.
Exactly.
So
before we get into the ratings that we'll give this movie, is there any final words you just want to say about it, just to give your overall impressions? And
I mean, I had quite high expectations for this movie. I think it met my high expectations.
And would you recommend it to other people?
Oh, 100%. It's definitely in my top 10 films of 2017.
Yeah, even people who haven't seen The Room?
I still think that they would enjoy it, but definitely if you've seen The Room, you have to see The Disaster Artist. Yeah. That's what I think. Anyway.
Yeah. And how about you, Tagore?
I went to the film only seeing that one trailer where they're trying to film the scene of him walking out of the roof, on the roof. And that's all I had going into this film. So I was like, yes, I'm going to go see this. Because that scene was damn funny.
Yeah.
I had a blast watching it. I suppose they could have done a little bit more. I mean, for what they did do, I thought it was a suitable amount of like all the key events and all that. So I definitely recommend it to others. If you've seen The Room, watch this. Or if you haven't watched The Room, watch this and then see The Room.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Either way, watch it. It's good.
Yeah, I reckon if I had to like have a top 10 of 2017, it'd probably be somewhere. Don't know where, but it would be somewhere on that list.
He's somewhere.
Don't know where.
I don't know what.
Don't
But it'd be on the list. And because it's just a well-made film by, you know, two guys who obviously had a passion for it. It's well acted. It's funny. It's got an emotional core, and I think, yeah, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't go see it.
I agree. What are you doing? Get out there and go see it. Stop listening to this.
You
Go.
idiot! Get out of here.
You fool.
She's trying
No, hang on.
Wait, actually, stay.
We'll give
because we need to give our ratings.
We
Yeah,
need to
don't
give
go
our
yet.
ratings. Don't go
I'm
yet.
sorry.
So, score. What's your rating?
My rating would be a 4 out of 5.
Ambridge?
4 out of 5.
You heard it here, folks. It's a 4 out of 5 from all of us.
All round? Wow.
I give it a 4
Wow.
out of 5 as well.
I give it a 4 Ohio marks out of 5.
For
4
Ohio.
Ohio marks? I like that.
Thank you.
I give it 4 Ohio marks out of 5 as well.
There we go.
I think one more thing I would say about the film is that James Franco has a nice ass. I'm gonna say it. He has a nice butt.
And on that note,
He's got a nice butt.
He's got a nice butt.
thanks for listening.
Like big butts and I cannot lie.
You
Yo,
other
motherfuckers
motherfuckers
can't deny. When a girl walks in with the itty bitty bean and something and something, they get sprung. That's all I know. Because I was all in Shark Tale.